Hey y'all, welcome to That Tennessee Feeling. I hope everybody's had a great week. Thanks for those of you who've listened to the first few episodes and come back for more. Don't forget to check out the That Tennessee Feeling Facebook group, Instagram, and TikTok. I love getting to know you guys, so if you want to reach out and say hi, feel free to on any of those sites, or you can email me at thattnfeeling@gmail.com. If you want to hear a certain topic covered, reach out. I'm always happy to hear suggestions. I really appreciate them. I want this podcast to be fun for everyone, and I want you to hear what you want to hear about Tennessee. And I really want people to fall in love with Tennessee like I do. Everybody ready for Christmas? I think I am. I don't know. I did go out and see some pretty Christmas lights. There's awesome decorations all around where I'm at. There's a really cute display in Maryville and Sweetwater. Although, shout out to Sweetwater. They had a really cool cookie swap a couple days ago, and that's just a really cute little downtown, and they really get involved. And so if you ever want to go somewhere cute, definitely check out Sweetwater. I will be talking about them in another podcast, but they have some really cute Christmas stuff out right now, and I'll probably try to put a TikTok up of them this week. But definitely some awesome Christmas displays out here. I love the little towns. I love little towns that have all like the snowflakes on the light poles and the little Christmas packages, and it's just so cute. I love small town Christmases because people, they really get into it. They get into the decorations. Of course, there's Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge and Sevierville, which are just amazing Christmas displays, especially at Dollywood. But don't forget the small towns. Don't forget to check them out. Now, I know that I covered Tennessee facts in one of my first episodes, and today I want to talk about something else that's really, really cool to Tennessee, and that's fun roadside attractions, and they're all over Tennessee. Excuse me, guys, allergies. I know that Tennessee is a big state, and it has so many amazing small towns, and it has so many amazing roadside attractions, and so today I just wanted to highlight some of those fun places and explore kind of really all over the state. Now, the first place I actually want to go is one of my favorite places, and it's near where I live right now in Knoxville, and it's the Sun Sphere. The Sun Sphere is located in Knoxville. It's in the World's Fair Park in downtown, and the structure stands at 266 feet tall, and it's on steel trusses with a 75-foot gold-colored glass sphere that actually once served as the symbol to the 1982 World's Fair. I love the Sun Sphere. You can go up in it. You can get some amazing views of Knoxville. You can see UT from it. You can see the river. Definitely a cool place to check out. Let me tell you a little bit about it. The sphere was designed by a Knoxville-based architect firm that was created as a theme structure for the 1982 World's Fair. The structure is in the World's Fair Park that is next to the convention center and beside a man-made pond next to the Tennessee Amphitheater. It's actually a really cool little layout and area. It's fun to walk around. Now, the tower's windows are layered with 24-karat gold dust that are cut into 7 different shapes. And the sphere actually weighs 600 short tons. I don't know what the difference between tons and short tons is. Sorry, guys, but it said short tons. And it has 6 double truss steel columns to support the 7-story sphere. Now, the structure does have an elevator in it. And during the fair, it actually costs $2 to go up the elevator and see Knoxville from the observation deck. The tower had a restaurant and food items like the Sun Burger and a juice cocktail called the Sunburst. They really got into that sun theme. And the symbol has actually been used for Knoxville for the last 40 years. It appears on logos, postcards, and even skyline photos. And the Sun Sphere is still open today, and you can visit the Level 4 observation deck. The deck can hold 86 people, and the observation deck has been renovated within the last 10 years. It's actually really fun. If you go up there, you can see pictures of old Knoxville, and it kind of tells you the history. And like I said, you can look out over all of Knoxville. It is free to go up and look around, and it is worth a look. It does give you amazing views of Knoxville, the World's Fair Park, which is pretty much right below it, and the Cumberland River. I definitely recommend going up once and checking it out. It is a good piece of Knoxville's history. You can see all the old buildings. You can see over towards Market Square. It's just something different. It's something unique. It's definitely Knoxville. And when you drive through the city and you see it, you already automatically know that, hey, I'm in Knoxville. So the next time you're over here rooting on the Vols or going to Gatlinburg or just driving through, definitely check out. Parking around it's usually free. You can find some free places to park. There's some really good restaurants nearby. There's some really cool hotels if you need a place to stay. But definitely don't miss out on your opportunity to definitely get a different view of Knoxville. All right, the next place I'm going to talk about is still in East Tennessee. It's actually a really well-known East Tennessee roadside attraction. It's the Museum of Appalachia, and it's located in Norris, Tennessee. It's like 30-ish miles from Knoxville, and it's actually a living history museum, and it's really cool because it tells about the pioneer and the earliest 20th century in South Appalachia region of the U.S. The museum is an affiliate of the Smithsonian Institution. And it's huge. It's so big. I went to it a long time ago. I plan on going back in the spring, when it's not supposed to snow. Gosh, I don't really want it to snow. Sorry. But the museum is more than 30 historic buildings that were rescued from neglect and put on 63 acres of pastures and fields. The museum also preserves and displays thousands of authentic relics, and it has one of the largest folk art collections. It also hosts performances of traditional Appalachian music and craftsmanship. The museum was actually started in 1960s by John Rice Irwin. He wanted to preserve the structures and artifacts of the region's history. He wanted to be able to tell the story for other generations. Now, the museum actually only started as a single log cabin, and it has grown into so many buildings. It includes buildings that are on the National Register of Historic Places, such as the Arwine Cabin, which is actually a rare cantilever barn. There was another cabin that was once inhabited by Mark Twain's parents. There's relics of Appalachian natives, and the ground actually mimics a working pioneer Appalachian farm. So like when I said it's a living museum, literally people are doing daily things that they would have done in the pioneers to show you, and it is a working museum. Like they actually do farm stuff, and there's animals. You can visit the museum and see open air buildings such as the smokehouse, corn cribs, animal pens, and mills. They have a blacksmith shop, a church, a working sawmill, and other shops, as well as a school. One of the cabins was the McClung House that displays the 20th century items from around the region. The blacksmith shop was built by an African-American farmer from the region, and the museum also has 2 display barns that house one of the nation's largest collections of pioneer frontier relics, as well as a fully stocked general store and post office from Arthur, Tennessee. Now, the museum is also home to the Appalachia Hall of Fame building that preserves items associated with famous individuals from the Appalachia region. The items include from Alvin C. York, Cordell Hull, Rory Acuff, and Uncle Dave Macon. They also have a large room dedicated to Appalachian music and banjos. And I tell you, the Appalachian music is some of the best music you've ever heard. There's also Appalachia dulcimers and other type of instruments on display. The museum also is home to a Christie exhibit. Christie is a novel by Catherine Marshall, and it takes place just west of Del Rio, Tennessee, in the early 20th century. I want to say there was like a movie or a mini series on Christie. I've seen the books, but this museum actually has an exhibit based on this novel, and it's really cool to look at. They had it when I was there last time, which I guess has been a while. But definitely check it out. I know a lot of people were really into those books and that book and series, and so it's kind of cool to see that it takes on, stuff that from actual like historic locations. The exhibit also has pieces from Monroe County master woodcarver James Bunch. I mean, the museum is just full of tons of relics, and it's authentic, and it's just really cool to go and look and realize, how much I enjoy running water or electricity, but it's cool to see what they went through and the struggles they had, and kind of just how more, at the same time, simpler life was back then. The museum also has festivals each year to promote and educate people on Appalachian history. They have some fun festivals that show how people lived, celebrated their holidays, and in fact, their biggest festival is the Tennessee Fall Homecoming, which is actually one of the nation's largest and most authentic music and folk festivals. The festival usually has well-known performers perform on their outdoor stages during the festival. Fun fact, I have actually been to a Tennessee Fall Homecoming, and it was so much fun. To see the history, the music, to take in the scenery, you meet some ridiculously cool people in this place. And again, like I said, it shows you, it just shows you another side of life, like what people were here before us and what they went through. And, sometimes I envy that. I envy the simpler life. And yet, at the same time, it was probably much harder than we realize we have it today. So the next time you're in Knoxville or around Knoxville, or you're just in East Tennessee, I definitely recommend checking out this open-air museum. Again, like I said, spring, summer, and fall are probably your better options. It is cold in the winter. In fact, it's supposed to snow this week. So definitely check it out. I bet you it's actually probably really pretty in the summer or in the spring, right when everything's about to bloom. All right, so the next place I want to talk about is on the opposite side of the state. We're going to go all the way over to Memphis. And I did not believe this was real when I found this as a roadside attraction, and I had to look it up, and I was surprised. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. In Memphis, there is the Statue of Liberation Through Christ. It is a statue, and it stands in a suburban intersection of Memphis. And this statue holds a cross instead of a torch, as if it's repelling dark forces. But the best part about this is, it is the Statue of Liberty. This statue is the Statue of Liberty holding a cross, and holding a cross very high. I thought that I had to look at a bunch of pictures because this is just something I've never seen before. And it's something I very much plan on seeing in real life. I didn't know this existed until I was doing this episode. And now I kind of really want to drive over to Memphis and see it. The statue was sculpted by Ryan Bassett of Alberta, Canada. The statue itself weighs 6 tons without the pedestal and stands over 7 stories high. Like I said, this is a big, big Statue of Liberty with a cross. And the statue stands in front of a megachurch, and it was unveiled on July 4th, 2006. The statue is known by many names, such as the Lord's Lady Liberty and Lady Liberation. She was thought up by Apostle Alton R. Williams, a senior pastor of the World Overcomers Outreach Ministries Church. And Apostle Williams has explained his meanings and reasons behind the statue in a few YouTube videos. Yes, you can look them up. I did. But the statue caused some controversy from a number of Statue of Liberty fans. They said that Williams was dishonoring a reverend American symbol. I can kind of see that. But nonetheless, it's a very unique statue. Williams has actually argued that his statue is different and not secular. The statue has a few differences from the original statue. The religious statue has a gold crown and says Jehovah across the front. Each spike of the crown is labeled with one of the biblical different biblical redemptive names for God. The statue also carries the 10 Commandments and has a single tear on her cheek to represent God's disappointment with the current state of America. All right. The pedestal is designed like the empty tomb of Jesus that is also meant to be a prayer chapel. The chapel was actually its own controversy. A lot of people thought that the chapel would be used to worship the statue and not to God. You cannot go in the chapel. So, the next time you're in Memphis, drive past the World Outreach Dome and take in this statue that calls Memphis, Tennessee home. I'm not kidding you guys. I'll post a picture on the Instagram, but go look at the pictures. I had no idea something like this existed in Tennessee. It's unique. It's a nice sculpture. It's definitely looks like Statue of Liberty, but I kind of want to go see this in person. I don't really know how I feel about it, but I definitely want to go see it in person. So the next time I'm in West Tennessee, I'm definitely going to make a detour to go see this one. All right. The next attraction, though, is a little hard to see, but it is attraction nonetheless. And if you know what you're looking for near Nashville, then you're not going to miss it. I am talking about Timothy DeMumbrian's cave. And this is the cave that housed Tennessee's first citizen. Honestly, the cave looks like just a wide crack in the rock on the side of the Cumberland River, but it did actually serve as a home at one point in time. The cave was a makeshift home for Timothy DeMumbrian, and he was really the first Tennessee citizen. He was a fur trapper on the Chickasaw land at the time. So, when I say first citizen, I mean probably first European citizen. DeMumbrian was actually a French noble who didn't want his title, so he left. He just left. He wanted the simpler life. He wanted to be a fur trapper in Tennessee. And he spotted this cave along the Cumberland after seeing that there was a lot of game in the area, and he wanted to stay nearby. He actually used the cave as a temporary home for several months while pursuing fur trading and building a real residence. DeMumbrian actually went on to become a successful trader and merchant and tavern keeper. He was also the first Caucasian citizen of Nashboro, which is Nashville's original name was Nashboro. And actually, there's a lot of descendants of Demonbreans still in this area today. Now, honestly, the cave may just seem like a large crack above the Cumberland River, and it literally, you have to get to it by boat. But it is a true national protected landmark. The entrance is guarded by steel bars, and you can view this cave from the land, but of course it's best viewed by the river. It's about a mile upstream from current downtown Nashville, and it really just looks like bars on a crack in the side of the bluffs around the Cumberland River. I've actually never noticed it, and I'm surprised because I've gone the Cumberland River numerous times, and next time I go, I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm looking for this thing. It does have steel bars on it. Actually, the steel bars were damaged during the flood of 2010, but they rebuilt it, and it's still an important spot in Nashville and Tennessee history. So next time you're in or near the river, on or near the river, see if you can find it. It's kind of like, where's Waldo? It's like, where's the cave? All right. The next place goes back towards Memphis, and we're going to go to the town of Brownsville. And we're going to talk about Billy Tripp's Mind Field. Not mine, mind. And it's a large metal construction of Billy Tripp's moods as he went through life. So think of it as a large journal. Billy actually started the project in 1989. I'm trying to make this a really old project. He started it in 1989, and he called it the Mind Field, and he would actually use salvage metal to construct the largest outdoor sculpture in Tennessee. The sculpture is all metal, an acre large, and 125 feet at its highest point. Tripp has written that the Mind Field represents his emotions, personal growth, and any significant points in his life. The largest addition was after his father died in 2002, and actually it was a water tower from a closed factory in Kentucky. Tripp has worked on this art for a long time. He actually continues to still work on this art to this day, building pieces from the shop and putting them in. And he actually has a shop that sits directly behind the structure, and he mainly works on his sculptures in the summer. He's also written a book about like his thought and his processes, and really where he wanted to go with this, and kind of just how he feels about it. And it's called the Mind Field Volume 1. He is currently working on a part 2. The community of Brownsville has been very supportive of us sculpture. The mayor actually also supports the sculpture, which is good because it sits literally on the main road of Brownsville. Like when you go into Brownsville, there's this huge minefield. And Tripp has said upon his death he wants to be entombed in his sculpture, and he wants to be the last addition to his art. I think that's kind of cool. I think it's cool to end with your art. The next time you're in Brownsville, go by and see one man's work as he goes through life and shows his emotions and his different passages in life through these sculptures. I actually can't wait to check it out. It's another reason I want to go to West Tennessee. There's a lot of cool things out there, and definitely want to go see Brownsville. I think it's really cool that he started building and he just kept going. It's what made him feel good. It's what him got through his funks, and people write down journals or take pictures, and this man builds metal sculptures. I think it's really cool. All right, the last place I want to talk to you about is back in East Tennessee, and it's actually one I visited a few years ago. It's in Greenback, and it's called the Fortress of Faith, or the Greenback Castle. Now, the Greenback Castle is one man's work over the decades to construct a very unique cinder block and brick castle. And this castle is completely handmade, and it is the handiwork of Floyd Banks Jr. And this man has been working on it for the past 3 decades, and he has put a lot, and I mean a lot, of creativity into this structure. He actually began this project as a way to draw in the ladies, but not anymore. He's moved on from that. He now assigns a spiritual significance to the shapes and the plaster. And you can visit the Fortress of Faith to see his works and what he thinks we should do in our lives. You can actually sometimes see Floyd still working on the castle to this day. He lives directly beside it. When I went up there, I didn't get to meet him. The castle does sit on private property, and I'm not going to lie to you guys. The drive up to the castle, you are going to pass some bizarre signs. Like TV cameras turned back, or the faith, and it was weird. It was odd. You could tell he put a lot of dedication into this. And it just, I don't know. It's one of those places you just got to see to believe. Like I said, it does sit right next to his house. He does not ask for donations. You are free to walk around. If you do see him, please be nice or offer a donation. He does do this work by himself. It's basically his life's work. And it is a work of art. It's got different pieces and designs. It even has running electricity, and a various assortment of things can be seen on the property. I will not lie to you when I say it was a weird experience. I'm going to post some pictures as well. It's extreme at some points. I kind of think if I had met Floyd, it would have made it a little less creepy. Because it was a weird experience. So if you do choose to visit the castle, visit with an open mind. Definitely see there's a huge cinder block, like, plaster chair. There's a chess table. There's a place where he's actually stored canned good, or he's jarred and canned things. Go and see. There's a huge, beautiful cross on the back side of it. He's definitely put his soul into his art, and it's an interesting place to see. But go with an open mind. Go with another person. Be careful. There is a second story you can go to. The stairs are a little treacherous. But go. Be nice to him, though, if you see him. Offer to help. Offer, a couple dollars or something. He does do this by himself, and it really is a sight to behold. He does have a lot of things up about, living with our faith in Jesus and God, and how he thinks that, what God has said. And, go for the sake of going, but go with an open mind. All right, guys, I hope that you have found some interesting places to visit, or learn about history, see two different men's passions for building, or take in just some sights as you traverse Tennessee and its roadside attractions. Thank you guys for listening this week. I really would appreciate if you could give a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify if you have a second. It does help to get the podcast out to other people. Don't forget to say hi. Reach out and say hi or suggestions. I hope that you all have a wonderful Christmas. I hope that you all have a great New Year, because I won't have another episode coming out until January. I hope that everyone has a blessed holiday, whether you're celebrating Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, New Year's, whatever you celebrate. I hope that it's an amazing one for you. I hope that we don't get any snow. I hope that it warms up soon. But most of all, I hope you guys have a great week, and just know that by you listening to the podcast, you've blessed me this year. So thank you so much for that. Have a great week, y'all, and don't forget to stay country.